Why do you feel you have to act the way you do?
Oh, I don't know. I suppose it goes back to an unhappy childhood.
An unhappy childhood?
Yes, that's where it all began, really.
Tell me about that.
Well, I suppose it wasn't all unhappy. I used to like wandering in the hills at night, talking to myself, as all children do. I used to dream such wonderful dreams. That one day I would become a Time Lord and become a great man like our heroes of old. Rassilon, Omega, the meddling monk, and Morbius, of course. He was so often overlooked. In the daytime, I loved to walk through the fields behind our house, rambling through the golden crops in the sunshine. But then the other children would insist on coming to join me.
Did you like the other children?
No. They tried to be kind to me, you see, to involve me in their games, but I didn't want that. I wanted to be alone. Just me and my ego. And my id, of course. And they were so much better at games than I was. I never could get the hang of hopscotch or hopping with the perigosto stick. They did it so well. They were so much more proficient than I.
And how did that make you feel?
Feel? Oh, it filled me with hatred. I would see a red mist descend before my eyes, blotting out the sun, blotting out their stupid, asinine faces with their silly smiles and their patronizing air. I came to love that red mist, to seek it out. I longed to bask in it, to feel the sublime loathing suffusing my soul, to know with absolute certainty that one day I would blot out their silly smiles forever. There was one boy who was so much worse than the rest.
Tell me about him.
They called him Theta Sigma. We used to call people by mathematical symbols and formulae, and we were a pretentious lot, we Time Lords. I remember one day my mother procured me a lovely train set from the planet Earth. I'm not sure how she got hold of it. Some of our people used to go on little explorations to distant planets and bring back samples of cultural artifacts. I think she got it from someone who'd undertaken such an expedition. I so loved that train set. I would watch, fascinated, for hours on end, as the trains circled round and round their track, weaving in and out of bridges, tunnels and cuttings. And then Theta Sigma wanted to play with it too. Of course, my mother said I had to let him. I didn't want to see the joy on his face as he watched my trains go through my tunnels, climb my embankments, cross over my bridges. It made me wild with fury. It was my train set, you see, not his. Mine. It was my possession. It was given to me for myself, not to share. One day, all things shall be mine. And then his mother procured another train set for him. It was so very nice. Superior, by far, to the one possessed by me. He invited me round to his house to play with it, to share. He looked so happy when he set the trains in motion. An expression of profound contentment, of settled peace, of pure joy descended on his conceited countenance.
And how did that make you feel?
Oh, it made me wild with rage. It was so unfair that he had something nicer than I had. I wanted to smash his train set to smithereens, to break the locomotives into tiny pieces, to tear up the track and mangle it, to crush the wagons beneath the heel of my boot. It was then that I discovered the joy of destruction.
You do seem to have a strong impulse to destroy.
Yes, I suppose I do.
Would you say that impulse was almost Dalek-like?
Dalek-like? No. Oh, no. Daleks are stupid tin boxes. They're metallic monomaniacs. They simply exist to blast other species out of existence. They have no finesse, no style, no charm. No, I would not say my desires are Dalek-like. Not at all. I want to talk some more about Theta Sigma.
Of course. Please do.
When we were boys, we used to visit an old hermit who lived on the mountainside near our village. We were sent there as part of our preparatory training as Time Lords to learn the ancient wisdom of our people. The contemptible contemplative lived in a vile, stinking little hovel. We had to sit at his feet and listen to him drivelling on. He'd do it for hours on end. He was such a crashing old bore. He used to witter about flowers, trees, fluffy little mammals, the sanctity of all living things and the harmony of the universe. He had a long white beard. As a boy, I wanted to set light to it, but I never did. Theta Sigma would sit enraptured, of course, lapping up all the trash that old fool burbled forth in the geriatric fraud. When I was still young, only about 95 or so, I went to his hovel one day to put a staser bolt through his fatuous brains. But he'd gone. The old fool had taken his beard and his bibble-babble to earth, to some sort of meditation centre in Berkshire. I was so disappointed. Theta Sigma adored him, you see, and it would have been such fun to murder him, to avenge myself for the endless tedium he subjected me to as a lad, and to annoy the doctor. To annoy Theta Sigma, of course.
It sounds as though you were rather obsessed with Theta Sigma.
Obsessed with Theta Sigma? With that nincompoop? That spineless, craven-hearted, goody-goody, smug, self-satisfied, self-righteous, despicable worm? Oh, no, no. You do not understand obsession as I do. An obsession is a fixed idea that governs all one's behaviour, that becomes one's sole aim and purpose. Well, naturally, I wanted to see him suffer, to destroy him, grovel in the dirt, eat flies and spiders and ashes and dust, endure scorching winds and blazing heat, to kill him slowly over many days until he should finally die in anguish and despair, knowing that it was I who had beaten him. I who had made him suffer, I who had conquered and vanished him. But obsessed? No, that's not an obsession. Everybody feels like that. It was simply a need. natural as breathing, eating, drinking, or casual violence.
Perhaps that's a little excessive.
Excessive? You accuse me of excess? Take care, fool. My last psychiatrist accused me of excess. I carry her with me always. You are warned that I may come to relish meting out a similar fate to you.
Yes. Perhaps you could tell me about what you're working on at the moment. That may give us some insight into your deeper neuroses.
I have always taken a great interest in the planet Earth. It is a lovely world, so full of life, of colour, of beauty, teeming with people, with art and literature. My interest is mainly practical, you understand. I should like to turn the planet into a smoking ball of black ash, a dead world, suspended in space. For some time, too, I have taken an interest in the humans known as Americans. I have a special affinity with that people. This affinity began when I once inhabited the body of an American, a hulking, muscular brute who kept forgetting to put his shirt on. He had both an absurd haircut and a petulant wife. I killed her, of course. The Americans, of course, command the biggest nuclear arsenal on that planet. My intention is to regenerate, to land my TARDIS in America in 2016. My regenerated body will take the semblance of a corpulent braggart with yellow hair, to stand for election as that country's president. Once I am in possession of the nuclear codes, we shall see who is master of them.
Yes, well, there are clearly lots of issues for us to explore. I hope we can do so at our future sessions. I'm afraid our time's up now.
So soon?
Yes, I'm afraid so. Same time next week, then.
Of course. I look forward to our meeting again. So very much. See you next week.